Hey guys, what's going on? I'm Chris, your dad next door, and in this video we're going to tell you how to take this webcam, the C920 right here, and take it from looking like this to this. Now I will say that there are lots of different types of software out there that can do this, and even the system that I'm using, Streamlabs OBS, has the ability to do color corrections and camera brightness and other kinds of filters that you can apply to your camera. But with this situation, we're going to try to do this as simple as possible using Logitech's software that they provide for this C920. So to get started with that today, we're going to go ahead and get rolling. I'm going to basically turn off my lights and start fresh and work all the way through my process and show you how that goes. So for a little clarity, I got these ideas from Harris Heller at the Alpha Gaming channel. He's got a lot of excellent content on how to make streamers and producers and content creators providing their best ability and utilizing their equipment in the best way possible. So I'm going to provide a link to his channel and description to the video that I'm referencing down in the description of my video, or a link to his video in the description of my video. Please check that out. He's got a lot of awesome content out there on his channel, so definitely a good guy to look after. First thing we need to do is fix this lighting situation. I've got a ceiling fan light that's on right now just above me. All my camera settings are on default, and it just completely washes out the scene behind me, and it just really affects the way the camera reads the image. Essentially, you want as much light as you can behind the focal point of the camera. So what I've done with my streaming setup, and this is not very technical at all, it's not very fancy, I have two of these guys. These big heat lamps from Home Depot. They were $15 a piece, and I've got a it's like a 7-watt bright 9-watt bright white bulb attached into it, and these are actually just clipped onto my desk here. So I'm going to go ahead and set those back up and turn them on and turn off my ceiling light real fast. So now that I got those lights on, I'm going to turn off the ceiling fan here, and you can already tell that it brightens up the image in front of me and brings a whole bunch of contrast to the image behind me. This is the effect we want. We want everything in front of us we want all the light shining this way, so that way it allows the camera to see all the way back. If you're shining any light towards your camera, it causes the lens to, or I forget what they call the actual processor inside the camera, the refractor or something like that. It causes that to change how much brightness it needs to produce in order to provide a clearer image. So by providing the light this way, we're able to still light up the room, but allow the camera to be able to pick up as much image as possible. So now that we got our lighting kind of set up and it's kind of shining onto the rest of our room, what we're going to do is we're actually going to start kind of configuring our camera to better work with that lighting that we're providing. So what I've got visible right now is the Logitech G Hub software. This is what they use for all their LED lighting products, or RGB lighting products, and different mice and different things like that. Basically, it's their software suite that works for all of their modern peripherals and provides solutions to interact with them. Change DPI settings or button clicks or different things like that for mice and keyboards and macros and things of that sort. So in here, I already have my C920 loaded. The computer automatically detects it. First thing we're going to just click on our C920, load it up. Typically, if I weren't using my camera currently, I'd have a little display window here that would give me a sample of what my video quality would be looking like. What I'm going to be working with here today is we're going to implement both the camera and video modes. We're gonna try to modify them a little bit. I already have some default settings kind of adjusted in a little thing called My Stream, but I'm going to go ahead and do something different here. We'll go to camera mode, add new camera mode. And it starts out with just any name. You can name it whatever you want. For this purpose of this video, I'm just going to name it Demo. What we're going to do there, first thing we do, disable the autofocus. There's no reason to have autofocus on in a situation like this unless you're getting really close to the camera. Typically, you just want to leave the focus all the way off. That way you get the widest view of everything that's in around you, and as you're trying to see the rest of the room, it kind of keeps everything in focus from here to there. You can see as I'm moving around, I'm really not having a big impact on any focus issues you shouldn't see. For exposure, typically what I've done in this scenario is I've just dropped it down one setting, and it gives you a nice clean look. Getting too far down will make the image too dark. Too far up, it'll make it too bright. It just kind of brings the middle of those settings kind of right in line with what works best for me. Of course, you can play with this, whatever works best for your setup, but this should bring down your highs and lows just a little bit here and there. Jumping over to the video setting. Same situation. We're going to add a new filter, and I'm just going to do the same thing. I'm going to name it demo. And basically, we're going to leave most of these correct. The only thing that I've typically done is I've disabled auto white balance, and I will shift this down just a hair. And what that does is it's already given me a much simpler look. We're going to jump over to this scene here. It gives it a much simpler look. It's not all bright. It's not all washed out. It's not all just kind of crazy and in the different, it's not all just blinding me in the face when what it looks like on camera. So I'm going to just disable those real fast while I've got this full screen camera up here. I'm going to turn them off and then turn them back on, and you'll be able to see the differences. That was the video filter. This is the default setting for the webcam. You can see how bright and washed out this looks. Pardon the brief interruption. That was my kids needed me for something real fast. So here's the setting with here's the return view with all those settings turned back to default, and then we're going to go back to that demo setting that I created. And go back to demo. There we go. And you can see just, again, how much of a difference it makes in that bright white shining on your face kind of look, right? So it gives you that ability to kind of dim down the light in front of you and give you a nice quality look for the rest of your room. One added touch that I usually throw in is that I have a little lamp kind of hidden in the back there. And again, it's nothing fancy. I'm going to get up here and show it to you. It is literally an old table lamp that has two bulb, like a bulb doubler kind of setup in it. You turn this guy on, you put it right back here out of sight. Provides a nice little amount of, oh, it's not far enough out of sight there. Put a nice little out of sight there, and once that fluorescent bulb kind of warms up, it'll give you a nice amount of bright light kind of behind you there, and it just kind of offsets you a little bit from the backdrop of your room, and still keeps everything lit cleanly and keeps everything nice and clean. So lastly, there's a few minor tweaks that we can make to the actual video settings to kind of adjust brightness, contrast, sharpness, and things like that to give us just a little bit better pop and a little bit better image quality out of our camera. So what we're going to do here is we're going to jump over to this desktop screen. And typically what I do is I kind of lower my brightness just a hair. We're going to go to about 45%. I bring the contrast up to about 60. And sharpness, I usually dial in right at 55. And that should give us a really good clean image there to work with. So now that you've seen how I adjust my camera here with this setup, I want to know what alternative solutions you guys are able to come up with in the comments down in this video. I would like to see, you know, what options you guys play with and different things like that. Obviously, if you use other software suites like I use OBS or Streamlabs OBS, there's other filters and things that you can apply to your image quality to kind of give it a little bit more fine tuning. But this was just with the intention of trying to use the built-in Logitech software to give you the best image quality that you could out of that. Again, these numbers are all kind of I think we've got them dialed into a good place, but each one's going to be a little different for your different light settings. So take a look at it, work with it. Let me know what numbers you come up with. If you liked the video, hit the thumbs up. If you didn't, tell me why. Tell me what I could have done to make it better. Subscribe, and you'll get more eventual content and tips up on how to make your camera and stream setup better. Thank you.